When I look back through my family history, my grandparents left their country of birth to relocate in a foreign land. My parents in their 20s did the same. Both my brothers have relocated, although Sam did return to South Africa, and now we've moved away. Is history repeating itself? Will we now build a new life, explore this wonderful place, raise our children only to see them leave when they're older? I don't know. I guess we'll just have to treasure these years and see where life takes us. Over the past 18 months, I've tried to document my life and that of my family, and have put together some videos and photos, thoughts and feelings. This has been a journey like no other for us. We've cried, we've laughed, we've grown a little, and smiled a fair bit. So this is a little glimpse at a tiny part of our journey, and how we've felt and what we've done. We've breathed this new air, and we've liked it. Moving to Cape Town in 2012 was probably the hardest thing I'd ever done. I moved down without a job. Tanya was pregnant with Giana. Lyla was about to start daycare. We moved in winter, and Cape Town winters are nothing like we had been used to in Joburg. In fact, it rained more that year than it had done in the past 15 years. Cold and wet all the time. That was hard. We left all our friends and only knew a few people, none of which we were very close to at the time. One couple in particular that we moved very close to as a matter of coincidence was Kim and Damon. In the past we hadn't really hung out that much, but we started seeing more of each other once we moved down. We began to really like them. I remember having a conversation with Tanya and telling her, I really hope they like us as much as we like them. As it turns out, they did. Personally, I'm not sure what would have happened if it wasn't for Damon. We've clicked in a special way. He's my best friend. I love that way. Fast forward 4 years, and Cape Town is wonderful. I love it there. I love the people, I love the life, I love our friends. Tanya's folks have moved down and the girls spend a lot of time with him. My dad comes to visit 2 or 3 times a year, and he really enjoys it. Everything is beautiful. And then one day, I'm watching my girls play, and I think to myself, what will they be when they grow up? This was about the time when the riots were going on at UCT and chaos was everywhere. I looked around and I saw a nice big cushy bubble where we were living. A beautiful bubble made of hopes, dreams, anticipation and promise. But just outside this bubble, literally 10 kilometers from the center of this bubble, mayhem, chaos, corruption and pain, hurt and poverty, nefariousness everywhere. People wanting to cause you pain, hurt you, kill you. I had found myself in perpetual fear, and the funny thing was that everyone around me kind of felt the same. Traveling up to Joburg on occasion was such an eye-opener. This constant slow decay of life and people and degradation everywhere. Things had moved and continued to move from bad to worse, and I said to myself, no, not for my children. I will not live like this. I cannot tell my kids one day that this is the best I could give them. Just like that, we decided to move. We made a list of countries that we could move to. America, Canada, UK, Australia, and New Zealand. I didn't want to move to America. Canada was way too cold. The UK wasn't of much interest to me or Tanya. Australia was probably the first choice, but everybody wants to move there, and it's super hard, especially if you don't have the right qualification, age, boob size, contortion talent, and blah blah blah. Damon, at about the same time, was also thinking about moving to New Zealand, and he had a plan and a lot more information about it than I did. So he shared his idea with me, and I remember we were sitting at our usual Friday morning breakfast meeting, and he said, "We've decided to move to New Zealand." The news hit me like a ton of bricks. Hard. I thought to myself, my friend is leaving. This relationship is over. And then suddenly I realized, wait a minute, I'm in the same boat as he is, because I also want to move. We can do it together. Then I didn't feel so bad. I talked to Tanya and she said, no ways, not without her brother. So we prepared a scenario where we would tell Roy and discuss the various options with him, line up all the convincing arguments and make him shift over to our side and get him interested in the idea. And then when we were ready, we called him up and said, "We're thinking very seriously about moving to New Zealand. What are your thoughts on doing it with us?" He said yes. Not maybe, not why, not anything like that. Just yes. They were more excited to move than we were. They just wanted to get out. Joburg had become too much. So we've recently decided to move to New Zealand. New Zealand. You have to say it. You have to say it with your mouth.
New Zealand.
Don't move your mouth. New Zealand.
New Zealand.
New Zealand.
New Zealand.
When are we leaving again?
Tomorrow.
We don't know when we're leaving exactly. So this will be our video blog or video experience
Of this next chapter.
We have done a few things already. We've got a police clearance certificate, we've got our unabridged birth certificates, we've sorted out our LinkedIn profiles and we're updating that constantly. Medicals we can only get later, we've got passports. So at this point all we need is
A job.
a job.
That's all.
A
Like
job.
easy.
That's all we need. It's just a job. Well, that's all Tanya needs. I don't need a job. Because I live with Tanya. That's not entirely true. Okay, bye.
Bye-bye. Toodaloo.
Should we like say something like at the end of every episode? Like something profound like love one another.
I'll think about it and come back to you on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Please don't post this.
I'm going to post this.
Did you ever post it?
I'm going to post it. That's why we're doing it.
Come on. Goodbye.
So this is our journey from South Africa.
Benjamin's just been moaning at me for 5 minutes. Just by the way.
Today is the 16th of January 2016. And so we're very sad. As you can see.
Yes.
Because we're still going to New Zealand. And are you sad?
Mm.
Are you sad that we're going?
Mm.
Do you feel like crying a little bit?
Every day. I have a little cry.
But it's going to be fine.
I have doubts. Many doubts.
I have doubts too. There's good times and there's like good moments and there's bad moments. Like the good moments is when your friends kind of tell you that they also seriously considering moving, and then there's hope and your aunt's gonna come and everybody's gonna be together again at some point and every life's gonna be great. And the bad moments are when I go pick up Lyla and I look at their school and how amazing that place is, and how they're there to just boost those kids' confidence and get them on their feet. But at the same time we're talking as if like they don't have any schools in New Zealand, and the schools that they go there are you know, the Oliver Twist type of schools where the kids just get beaten up and...
Well, we don't know.
I'm sure every single person in Australia went to an Australian school, or rather New Zealand, went to a New Zealand school and got an education. They all know how to read and do maths, and they great, good people, as good as anywhere else.
That's not the point. The point is that
The point is that South Africa, Lyla's in one of the best schools in the country.
And we are in one of the best cities in the world.
Yes, yes, yeah. We've had this discussion 1,000 times. Deciding to move is a strange thing. It's a decision that you don't have to make often, I assume. So making it takes time, and it's weird to finally decide. I suppose in some circumstances it would be an overwhelming and emphatic yes. I think that living in South Africa, everyone has contemplated this decision at some point, and it's usually met with either, this is what I want to do and I'm going to do it no matter what, or, I really want to leave, but... We were certainly at the latter position for a long time. Coming back from a trip to Australia 11 years ago left me with a sense of helplessness. When you travel to a country that works in every way, and then you leave and return to a country where little works, and being told that you have to stay there, this is a sad thing. We try very hard, even when we moved to Cape Town, not to sound like, we did the right thing and you better do it too. How can you be so blind? We are not preachers preaching. And the fear is that sometimes it comes across like that. Oh, look at us, we've left and we've made a better life for us and our kids because we're better than everybody. No, we do what we do as life carries us through various circumstances. We are presented with choices in our life and we make them with the knowledge and the experience and information that we have at the time. We need to adapt and be pragmatic in all areas of our life and then roll with it. See where it takes us, learn something. Someone once told me, "You've never been to New Zealand. What if you get there and you hate it?" I thought about it and my response was, if I hate it, I'll just suck it up because it's not about me, it's about my children. But I suppose now that I really think about it, sure, it is all for the children. But at the same time, I think I use that as a cop-out. I suppose I always wanted to leave South Africa. It's like convincing yourself to buy a new car. If you already want it, it's easy to come up with 100 reasons why you should. It's when you don't want to do something that it's hard to convince yourself that it's the right thing to do. One thing that we did decide with quite some emphasis was that we weren't going to come back. Many times speaking to friends and families, they would say things like, if it doesn't work out, you can just come back. We'd smile and nod, but we made it clear from the very start that if we were going to do this, it would be permanent. And that certainly became more clear once we had moved. Doing this has been the hardest thing we've ever done, and probably will ever do. It took an enormous amount of effort and emotional strain, going through all of that just to say, oh well, at least we tried. It's not working, so let's go back. No way, this is not an option. We will not move backwards, only forwards. We're not going back. When Lyla was born, her first 3 years, literally 3 days a week, were spent with my dad. I've never seen him so elated. He developed a bond with her that gave him new life. He was happy. They'd hang out all day, pick mulberries, work in his workshop, water the garden, drink lemon verbena tea, and who knows what else. When we moved to Cape Town, it was as if I took that away from him. I kinda did take that away from him. Must have been really hard. But things got better. Once we had settled, we saw each other 2 or 3 times a year, He'd come down for the girls' birthdays and there was a routine starting to develop that was comforting and reassuring. Except, now we're moving to New Zealand. Of course, it was really hard for me to break the news to my dad. I had many opportunities and just couldn't. It was as if I was punching him in the face or something. I couldn't do it. I couldn't tell him. It would kill him. So I did what all cowards do. I wrote him a letter. How can you speak the words that you know are going to cut someone so deep? Life isn't easy sometimes. When you immigrate, you make a list of things that need to be done. Once you have it all down, you try and arrange it in a way that is chronological, and you hope that some things can happen simultaneously. And soon you realize that everything, I mean everything, is dependent on something else. At the top of our list was Tanya needs to find a job in New Zealand. Pack your bags, babes. You're going to New Zealand for as long as it takes. Resign from your job, go to New Zealand, don't come back until you have a job. We'd heard all sorts of stories about people who'd gone over and not found any work, and that some people only found work after 6 months. It was a worry. But Tanya treated it like a full-time job. Up in the morning, hit the interviews, researched, networked, and stayed the course. She got a job within 4 weeks. Tanya was amazing. She kind of is amazing. I missed Tanya dearly while she was away. Although it was nice to have a few weekends to myself for a change, I realize that I love her dearly and I need her in my life. It's better when she's around. On the last weekend before she returned, I went up to Chapman's Peak and captured the best sunset of my life. It was an emotional reminder of what we were about to leave behind. I'm doing a quick video on where we are at the moment with regards to our immigration to New Zealand. Tanya left for New Zealand a few days ago. In fact, it was a week ago today. So I thought I'd do a quick report back of what's happened this week. Tanya on Tuesday got a job offer from a company. I can't remember the name of that company, Merchants or some recruitment company. Their words were that they were bowled over by her personality, which is unsurprising because she's got a fantastic personality. One day you have everything. The next day you have nothing. You won't see your things for 3 months. It will all be packed into a big box and will drive off into the distance. By the time it arrives, you will be tired of sleeping in other people's beds, sleeping on the floor, on blow-up mattresses that explode violently while you're sleeping, and on makeshift bay window pillows. The day your things arrive, man, it's like Christmas. Owning your own bed, warm and soft, is a true blessing that we sometimes take for granted. Packing your things into a box makes you kind of realize that we have a lot of stuff. I wonder how much of it we really need. Perhaps I should become a minimalist. Your new house goes from being totally empty to riddled with boxes and wrapping paper, and then to something that you have to keep neat and tidy all the time. Why do we need all this stuff? Just a quick update. We are packing our house, putting all our stuff into boxes. Tomorrow the movers arrive, or the shipping company rather arrive, to put all the big stuff into boxes and to get everything ready for the next day when our container arrives, and we will be loading all our stuff into a big box container, and that will be shipped off to New Zealand, and it should arrive in 56 days, they say. Once it arrives, it will stay in quarantine or whatever for a week, and then hopefully we get our stuff. So I thought I'd give you another little update. As you can see and probably hear, our house is empty. Nothing in here. The only thing to find is an echo. And this means that all our stuff is in transit to New Zealand, somewhere on the Indian Ocean. All I have here is where I still work. That's my office. Nice and spacious. We've got some grapes going and some ginger beer. And yeah, staying with my in-laws at the moment. Kids are doing fine, wife is doing fine, and we'll be heading to Joburg on the 5th. On the 5th of April. Never to return to Cape Town.
Goodbye, beautiful Cape Town.
Goodbye.
We'll miss you. When we go to New Zealand, we'll miss you, really.
How do I wake my spirit cold? We always say when our history's told, if only we knew the things we know. There's a question ages old. Let me down easy, let me down slow. If all good things ever come and go, let me back down in a place I know. Hold the nail for the hammer stroke. This my trash, this my tone. This my blood, this my bone. Let me back down in a place I know. Hold the nail for the hammer stroke. Oh, this my weapon, this my home. This my blood, this my bone. How do I wake my spirit cold? Most people die, but others just go. She's still out there, and the chasm grows. Steady on the feet in the morning glow. Trash, this my tone. This my weapon, this my loan. This my mountain, this is my home. How do I wake my spirit cold? There's a question ages old.
I've spent my days being ready to go. I have lived my
When you think about it, you have a lot of plans and things you still want to do and say to people. People you want to see for that last time. Our last few weeks in SA are such a blur, an amalgamation of thought, emotion, love, anger, sadness, all stewed up in a cauldron of softened chaos. There were some people that I wanted to see one more time, but it all got away from me in the end. I'm sorry I didn't see some of those folks for that proverbial last time. At some point in April 2016, we packed all our things into a container, finished up the lease on the house we were renting, packed everything that was left into 4 big luggage bags, and moved in with our in-laws. Sold the 2 cars, cancelled all the cards, accounts, clothing accounts, electricity, phones, blah blah blah. 1 week later, we caught a flight to Joburg, where we planned to spend the remainder of our time while we waited for our visas. That happened 7 days after we arrived in Joburg. Receiving the visa was it final moment when the nail drives home that we're gone. I think there were a few moments that I felt like that. Saying goodbye to everyone is hard and weird. You never really have to say goodbye, knowing that it's kind of for a super long time. Even when you're finally in the air, the moment that in your mind is the final epic moment when you'll jump up on your noble steed and ride off into the adventures that await you. Even then, it's too much for your brain. Blurry, craziness, landing, jet lag, staying with friends in a new, different, unfamiliar place, looking for a home, looking for a car, looking for a school, finding the best location, waiting for your things, no maid, no parents, no support. What are we doing here? Why are we here? This is crazy.
I may come back, but for now I'll be far.
Our visa has been approved. My visa has been approved. And that is the final piece of the puzzle that we were waiting for before we officially are immigrating to New Zealand. This beautiful lampshade that you see right here is from my mother, and we're at her house, which we've been for the last few days as the last leg of our voyage before we go. That's it. Next stop, Auckland. And that's all I have to say about that right now. Sydney.
have arrived in Auckland.
Where have you arrived?
Safe and sound.
Well, are you okay?
Okay. And it was safe and sound. Giana, stop! Giana, stop at the computer!
It's like we're the only people here. That's what happens when you get off the plane last.
Yeah, but at least we don't have to wait for our bags now.
Yeah, true. Just a quick update. We are in New Zealand. We've been here for, today will be a week. We are at Damon's house. I'm working already. Roy and Nicole are staying in Blockhouse Bay. Roy might get a job in Tauranga, which is 3 hours away, which means he has to negotiate something with his visa and Nicole's study visa. It's a whole thing. It's pretty difficult at the moment. Tanya's job starts on Tuesday, which is in 5 days' time. And it's, yeah, the kids are kind of all over the place. It's pretty hard, but we're surviving, I suppose. And that's pretty much all I have to say about that right now. We've been here for about 2 weeks now, and we're staying at Roy and Nicole. It's overcast today. Tanya's already started work this week, which has been quite challenging. Trying to find time to do my own work, as well as looking after the kids during the day because they're not in school. In fact, it's school holidays here. They've been pretty good though, but of course they got a bit of cabin fever. We went to the library, try to keep them busy at the parks, but I fear it's not enough. We're moving in on Sunday to our house, which is exciting enough. But we'll soon be in our own space, and our stuff will be arriving maybe in about 2 weeks' time. We bought a couple of items already though, to try and fill up the house a little bit. We're going to be renting a fridge, because we can't, we don't have a fridge yet. It's in a container still. But it's going okay. It's just pretty gloomy today. It's like really the first day that it's been overcast and pretty miserable. It's been nice and sunny all the other days. And that's pretty much all I have to say about that right now. Hey guys, what's happening right now?
We're going to our new house in New Zealand.
What?
We're going to our new house to New Zealand.
We're going to our new house in New Zealand. Finally, we're going to a house that is going to be, that's going to be our house. No more sleeping over at friends and family and sharing one bathroom. Who's excited about that?
Me.
And who's going to have their own room?
Me.
Sharing, guys. Say love you.
Love you.
And say, and that's all I have to say about that right now.
All I have to say about that right now. That's all I want to say about that now.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
So this is officially our drive into our house that we will be living in for the next few months, for long awaited niceness of having our own home. And this is the road that leads Castor Bay. There it is, Castor Bay. I don't know how to say it yet.
Castor Bay.
I say it Castor Bay. That's probably wrong.
It's not, it's Castor Bay.
And it's just on the road. There's the beach there on our right, and our house is here.
Just here.
Look at this, guys. Woohoo!
Number 76, 76.
Yeah, look at it. There's our house.
There's our house.
Is the landlord still here? You wake up one day and think to yourself, there isn't really much else that we're waiting for. Sure, we still need residence, but that will only happen in a few months. But all our stuff is here, the kids are at school, we're working in a good routine now, our home routine is in place as well. Oh yeah, I forgot. I miss everyone. 2-3 months in and it hits you like a ton of bricks. I can honestly say that you don't know what it feels like to miss someone until you've been in another country for 3 months, knowing that you're not going back for a while, and they're probably not coming here either. I miss my dad and going for walks with him. I miss Sam and Enoch and sitting around the table, making each other laugh until our stomach muscles cramp. I miss having arguments with my mom about esotericism. I miss how her hands feel. I miss all my friends in Joburg. I miss getting together and just hanging out. I miss being ridiculous with Chantal and Odette, and even more so with Louis Karaka. I miss my in-laws. A while back, I had that thought that we've all had, when you're suddenly reminded that at some point, they're going to be leaving us. My mother-in-law is such an amazing person that it's hard to imagine just how we'll all get by. Yep, I think I miss them a lot. But don't tell them I said so. We've been in New Zealand for 2 months and 7 days. And it's hard being here alone. The sun seems to only come out 2 or 3 times a week. So there'll be days where it's just cloudy the whole time. It doesn't rain, but it's overcast the whole day. And that can make you feel pretty sad, especially when you're missing your family, your friends, and your support. The kids are doing well. It's easier for the kids. It seems to be harder for the grown-ups. Someone mentioned something about vitamin D supplement because you're not getting as much sun as you used to, and your body was used to all that sun, and now you don't get it, so there's a deficiency. I don't know if that's part of it, although I'm pretty sure that being away from everybody and being in a foreign country has a lot to do with it. I'm busy waiting for Lyla now. She's at a drama class and she's doing well with the drama. Last week she got awarded the little mascot that the best person gets to take home, that kind of thing. And yeah, so it's just a bit of a struggle at the moment. Nothing in particular is wrong. Just the feeling could be better. Just feel like it could be better. I feel that if there were more people here around us, that we'd feel better. Yeah. Claudia asked me before we left, said you'd never been to New Zealand. What happens if you get there and you hate it? I don't hate it. But what I did say to her was that I would suck it up if that does happen. Because this isn't about me. It's about my kids. But maybe that's just something that we say to make us feel better. Or is that even real? Is that true? That, are we doing this for our kids? Well, sure. I mean, I suppose the benefits, you can see them already. Anyway, that's a whole nother topic for another day. Cape Town winters are cold, wet, and the sun only comes up at 7:45, which means that in the height of winter, you would wake up in the dark, eat breakfast in the dark, leave to take Lyla to school in the dark. Crazy. I always said that Cape Town needs daylight savings. New Zealand does have daylight savings, and if that wasn't enough, because it isn't, school only starts at 9 AM, which means that at the height of winter, you wake up in the day and you still have 2 hours before Lyla and Giana need to be at school. However, the downside is it rains a lot, and while it rained a lot in Cape Town, and you'd think I should be used to that, I'm not. I hated Cape Town winters. Cold and wet is not my idea of fun. Growing up in Joburg, I always thought that winter sun is everywhere. It isn't. Gloomy rain is what you can expect. A side note though is that when I say cold, I really mean about 15 degrees. And when I say wet, I really mean 1 hour of rain followed by 2 hours of sun, followed by 1 hour of clouds, followed by another 30 minutes of rain, sun, clouds, rain, sun, clouds, rain. And that's just a day's worth. What the hell is going on with this weather? When I was writing the script for this documentary, I knew that I needed to have a special section dedicated to the rain in New Zealand. I found that it's a tricky subject to approach when chatting to friends back home. I feel that if I'm too honest and tell them how much it rains, that they'll never want to move here. But if I tell them it doesn't rain all that much, they'll know I'm lying. After our first summer here and the arrival of autumn, the rain starts a little again. It's really nice, and you get that feeling of jumping into your jammies with a blanket, cuddling up on the couch. What a great feeling. Although it all does change by the end of winter when you've just about had enough rain to last your lifetime. I suppose I need to change my attitude and do like the Kiwis do, just ignore it. The Kiwis have an amazing ability to literally ignore the fact that it's raining. They just chuck on a raincoat and get on with it. Some even bypass the raincoat altogether. It's so common to see people walking or running in the rain. They didn't leave the house while it wasn't raining either. They left knowing full well that they were going to get wet. I suppose if you're going to wait until the rain stops to do anything, you might only get to it next Thursday. But I really am confused about all this weather. You know it's a big deal in the country when the main news bulletin at 6 o'clock starts with the weather. Then they talk a little bit about traffic and property prices. Then they talk some more about weather. Then they talk about rugby. And to finish up, they'll have some more weather. My disclaimer is this. With so many mixed reports from everyone, I'm surely keeping my mind open as to how much it really rains in New Zealand. No one can actually tell me. Some say not that much, while others say a lot. Having only spent one winter here, I'm keeping one hand on my umbrella and the other on the sunblock. A separate footnote, while I'm almost at the end of my second winter here, just to confuse the situation, it hasn't actually rained all that much. What is your favorite thing to do, love?
I love to hug Lyla and kiss Lyla, and I love her. I love her
You love to kiss her and hug her.
and love her.
And love her. Yeah, me too. She's the coolest, hey? I also love hugging you and kissing you and loving you. Oh, I almost knocked that lady over. You can't cross there, love. Hello, monkey.
I can tell you what my favourite part of today was.
Is that how you start your day?
I can.
You can? I want to hear all about it.
That I learned the chicken dance.
You learned the chicken dance, yeah. I haven't done one of these for a while. I'm missing everybody. I tend to do these things when I miss people, and it may seem that all we ever do here is miss people, which is not entirely incorrect, but I mean there are certainly happy moments in between these videos of me saying how much I miss everybody. What I do is I pull the car out like this, and it's now 8 minutes past 3, and I'm waiting for 9 minutes past 3 because the school is about a minute away. And the reason why I do that is because the bus gets out of the Port Couche area, and then it's just gone 9 past 3. There's a dustbin which I haven't taken in yet. I should remember to do that. She'll run out in a minute when she sees my car, and sometimes she doesn't see it. Sometimes, here she comes. Here she comes. I'm going to pretend I'm driving away. Watch what she says.
Dad, Abby's car is just behind mine. Just behind my car.
What do you mean?
Abby's car is that one behind us.
Oh. And how about a hello, Dad?
Hello, Dad.
What up? What up? What up? How's it going?
What up, Papa?
There you go. There's Abby. Is that Abby?
Yeah, that's Abby.
Okay. And how is going?
Going good. Can I have a sandwich?
Can you have a sandwich? So just very quickly, I just want to give you a quick example of how things work here. So I'm sitting doing my work, and I hear a car outside, and I say, oh, there's a car outside. I haven't been downstairs yet, but I know what's waiting for me because it's happened before. And the guy has already left. So he drives all the way up the driveway, and he's already left. So he drives all the way up, parks his car here. He fails to ring the bell, which is working. There's the bell. And he leaves a package for me. That's mail. That's something that I ordered. And it's just arrived. And he doesn't even knock. He just leaves it on the floor. He leaves it on the floor. I thought I'd do another quick video. It's just a quick little catch up. It's the 8th of August. Today's September the 5th. I thought I would do a very quick demonstration of how we lock up the house before we leave for the weekend. So we turn off the lights inside. Oh, they're already off. And then this is the lock. There's nothing else on the door except that. And we go outside, and now I'm outside, and that's it. Nothing else. That's the front door, the gate, with no actual gate. See you in a few days. Oh, it's me again. Just a quick check-in. It's the 14th of October. That is the rod that I used on my second fishing expedition. I caught nothing, just so you know. The shoes are wet, and I hope to keep trying. So just a quick video. We've just finished up at...
Hello!
Where did we go? Where did we go?
Piha Beach.
Piha.
You're a sky, 'cause you're a sky full of stars. I'm gonna give you my heart. 'Cause you're a sky, 'cause you're a sky full of stars. 'Cause you light up the park. I don't care, go on and tear me apart. I don't care if you do. Cause in the sky full of stars, I think I saw you. Cause you're a sky full of stars. I wanna die in your arms. Cause you get lighter the more it gets dark. I'm gonna give you my heart. I don't care, go on and tear me apart. I don't care if you do. Cause in the sky full of stars, I think I see you. I think I see
We tend to think that we always need to be talking to our children so that they don't get bored. But I think it's healthy to let them get lost in their own thoughts. I think that encourages and feeds imagination. A child without imagination is a sad thing. So, at times, I'm driving along, going somewhere, and I don't speak, and just let them look out the window, let them experience the world, and let their minds race. After a few minutes, they usually say something, and depending on what they say, it's usually clear what they were thinking about. I think Giana misses home more than Lyla. Lyla kind of understands what happened, but I don't think Giana totally grasps the situation. Of course not, she's only 3. It's silly to think that she would have got it. So what used to happen quite often was, when driving along and having some time to think, she would say things like, "I want to go to Damon's real house," implying the house in Cape Town, or "We must visit Vovor to see Bisky again," Biscuit being the dog. While kids are certainly more resilient than we are, I think we underestimate how much they still feel and care about those around them. There was a special play date that Lyla and Giana had at Odette's house with Kayla and Sienna a few days before we left. They speak of it still. When we look at those photos, it's happy and very sad at the same time. Those are definitely relationships that we feel the kids will miss out on. Riley and Ethan are spoken about often too. I just hope they fill that gap with their cousins or with new friends that they meet along the way. Or better yet, those people eventually move over.
I've been reading books of old, the legends and the myths, Achilles and his gold, Hercules and his gifts, and Spider-Man's control, and Batman with his fist. And clearly I don't see myself upon that list. But she said, where'd you wanna go? How much you wanna risk? I'm not looking for somebody with some superhuman gifts, some superhero, some fairy tale bliss. Just something I can turn to, somebody I can kiss. I want something just like this. Oh, I want something just like this. Oh, I want something just like this. I want something just like this. I've been reading books of old, the legends and the myths, the testaments they told, the moon and its eclipse, and Superman unrolls a suit before he lived. But I'm not the kind of person that it fits. She said, where'd you wanna go? How much you wanna risk? I'm not looking for somebody with some superhuman gifts, some superhero, some fairy tale bliss. Just something I can turn to, somebody I can miss. I want something just like this. I want something just like this. Oh, I want something just like this. Oh, I want something just like this. Where'd you wanna go? How much you wanna risk? I'm not looking for somebody with some superhuman gifts, some superhero, some fairy tale bliss. Just something I can turn to, somebody I can kiss. I want something just like this.
In May 2016, I met my Uncle John, Aunt Margaret and cousins for the first time. I mean, I'd met them before, but I was so small I can't really remember. The experience was great. They are super nice people with a strong family. They laugh, play, and seem really happy and comfortable. They've also been here for about 20 years. I remember having met them once in South Africa, but don't have many memories about that side of the family at all. After meeting them here in New Zealand and hanging out a little, I was saddened about this. Mostly because they're super cool and it would have been awesome to have grown up with these super cool cousins. Alas, things didn't turn out that way for whatever reason, but at least we have them around now. It's a side of my family that I knew and still know little about, but I hope to change that. I grew up not really knowing my grandparents, especially my grandmothers. They were always this kind of voice on the other end of the telephone who spoke Portuguese and whom we didn't really care that much about. The grandmother that I did know more than any other was my grandfather's second wife, Vovó Anna. She was English, her little flat smelt of candles, and she had a great sense of humor. I remember her laugh, her great English accent, and how she always corrected my grammar. Her only child is my Uncle John. Her real name is Eileen, but we called her Vovó Anna because that's what my grandfather used to call her, and I only found that out in my 30s. In March 2017, Vovó Anna passed away. I feel sad that I only had her around for the early part of my life. I feel upset that my folks never involved us more in the life of my uncle. Listening to the eulogies today was intense and beautiful. I only got to see my gran one last time here in New Zealand at my uncle's house. She had dementia and didn't recognize me at all. Although her face and the sound of her voice immediately triggered a part of my brain recognizing in an instant who this was. I smiled a lot that day. One day, somewhere in September, daylight savings started, and the days felt like they were getting a little longer. It starts getting warmer, it rains less, and suddenly there's a bit of a vibe all around. Some official-looking people put a platform out about 50 meters from the beach, and the kids swim to it and play on it. The parks fill up, and eating dinner at the beach commences. With the days getting longer and the warm temperatures, things are looking on the up and up. Needless to say, it didn't get all that hot until November. Many people said that it was weird because we should have had a longer, hotter summer, whatever the hell that means. Nevertheless, it was awesome. I would say it didn't rain from about November through April. Okay, maybe a little, which was welcome at times because of the humidity. The sun in New Zealand gets hot. Not like, oh, that's so nice on my skin kind of hot. I mean, I've been standing in the sun for 5 minutes and I feel like there's hot lava being poured all over my skin and I'm melting. This is really weird because as soon as you're not in the sun directly, you're totally fine. They say it's got to do with the ozone layer or something, but hey, what do I know about plumbing? This last summer that we had was really awesome. The feeling of living across the road from the beach and being able to walk freely with the kids, breathe this new air and try new things was great. You see so many people out and about, which is unheard of in Joburg, that it really opens your eyes to what we've been missing all along. It's beautiful and wonderful to see so many active people that it kind of makes you want to get active too, and we do. We've been going to Tauranga now pretty much one weekend out of every month, and it's a real treat. Not just for the kids to see their cousins and bond like they do, but just to get away, something to do and hang out with some family we love. Perhaps one of the best summers I've had.
You cut a branch and then you fill a cup up with hot water. Then you put the branch inside the cup and then you leave it in the cup for 5 or 10 minutes. And then you take the branch and then you keep the branch inside the tea and then you drink the tea. and it's a bit like lemony, but I like it. Some people don't like it.
Good.
Like Vavor doesn't really like it sometimes.
But who taught you how to make it?
Vavor Piu.
Ah, good.
There's a place I have found in the shade on the ground, far from all worries and troubling sound. When I go there to be by myself, only me. No one can guess what I came there to see. There's a sun in the sky, there's a cloud drifting by. All kinds of birds make you wish you could fly. And in the distance I see someone waving at me. I hope that it's you, but who else could it be? I guess it would be nice to belong in your arms. I hope you feel the same way too. Na 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 na.
Only when he gets really cross, when he gets really, really angry, then he turns into Hulk.
No.
Yeah?
He stays in Hulk. You know, in my superhero book, he's happy and he's still Hulk.
Oh, okay. I see.
So he doesn't.
I see.
He only gets cross when he's in trouble and he smashes the gate and he smashes him back. Only gets cross like that and then he puts him in jail.
Ah, okay. Good
That's
idea.
when he gets cross.
Good idea.
So you're wrong. You don't know anything about superheroes. I've been to superhero land once.
You did? And?
And I saw Hulk, and he helped me smash the whole entire bad universe.
Awesome.
No one can guess what I came there to see.
It's just happened.
We went on the luge.
And then what happened?
I nearly crashed.
You nearly crashed. And then what happened?
I scraped my hands.
You scraped your hands. And then what happened? You smiled. Hey? And did you enjoy it?
Yeah,
And how high are we?
we're like 15 meters from the ground.
We're like super high, man. Like totally, look at that view.
There's a photo there.
Where?
Smile.
Ah.
There.
Smile for the camera.
Dad,
To
here's
the camera.
Dad, take your phone away.
Okay, smile for the camera. Smile for the camera. Camera.
Stop, Dad.
Okay. Smile for the camera.
Dad.
One day in November, two odd-looking people found their way to Auckland. We felt bad for them, so we let them stay in our spare room for a while. This, of course, wasn't free. They needed to contribute. You know, stuff like cook, create, some love and joy, good times. Who were these people that came into our lives so suddenly, gave us joy, and then left, leaving only memories engraved in our hearts and decorations like gifts for us to remember them at every turn? Only cliches come to mind, thinking of time and how fast it moves. The result finding us alone again, with only each other. Coincidentally, today, 29th of January 2017, marks 10 years since my brother Enoch left for Canada from South Africa, leaving my parents behind with feelings that I suppose I'm only yet to discover. Funny how time works. Having Al and Jenny over for 2 months was pretty cool. They just happened to come during summer, which meant that we would spend a lot of time in Tauranga, fishing, eating, mussling, crabbing, eating, kayaking, beaching, and eating. Judith and Donovan, Vashko and Zidane also came over from Oz to spend a full week with us. It was awesome. I felt a deep sense of fulfillment having so much family together and getting along with everyone. It was amazing, and I hope we can have a lot more of these moments as our kids grow up. I feel that that is what life is really about. These days of summer gave me such a great sense of joy and overwhelming happiness, not just for me, but for my kids and the rest of my family. I like to think that Roy and I have grown closer together. Not that we were ever distant, but he has a special place in my heart, not only because he's my brother-in-law and I kind of have to pretend to like him, but because he's a gem of a guy with a great heart. He also has a pleasant odor. Summer will come again. Needs to be reiterated over and over,
What are you talking about?
so that when the time comes.
Today's Thursday.
Thursday.
Hey, you're using my cap.
We haven't fished since
Tuesday.
That's 2 days that we haven't fished.
Oh,
Huh?
how are you guys coping?
And we're not going to fish today. And tomorrow we're not going to fish.
Whoa.
Tomorrow.
Wow.
And maybe like Saturday would be not a bad day for a fish.
Oh, lemon and pepper. Let's get pepper.
Who wants to fish for Saturday night?
Just shoving it in there.
Are you still eating? Vashko, do not spit that out whatever happens. Like your teeth are all brown.
Let's take a photo of you smiling like that.
Like
It's like yesterday, he had like 2 hands and he was just shoving them in.
Now we take a photo of you smiling.
Get his teeth.
I got his teeth, yeah.
It's a very painful smile.
It's like a chocolate dog everywhere. Post it on Facebook, eh?
So it's been a while since I've done a video, and it's the middle of summer now. We're in January. Just a quick update. We are on Waiheke Island. It's hot, it's sunny, it's beautiful, and we're here with the kids having a good time.
Bye bye.
Where are we?
Hello.
Where are we?
Beach day.
Beach time.
Beach time.
Beach time, beach day.
Beach time, beach day.
This fruit is called a feijoa.
Tanya, come look here.
What's going on the floor here? I'll tell you what that is. Those are feijoas. What? No. Why are you packing feijoas, Lyla?
We just sell them.
How much are you selling them for?
$2.
$2 a bag?
Big
Well, no, it's not that much. First,
$2 each packet.
hard work, making a bit of bucks. But you'll reap the rewards. Pardon the pun.
Sell the feijoas for $2 each, and I'll end up with $14.
Good.
And all for me because I did all the work.
Yes. What? I think you got some more business.
Hi there. Two bags. Two bags, Gigi. 2 bags, please.
Freshly picked.
Thank you. Thank you.
Giana, say thank you. Thank you.
These people probably think
Hard up for entertainment. Only 2 bags left. Roy, what's up? What you say? Today I have the great job of babysitting these 2 twins because Roy and Nicole have gone to do their English test in Auckland and they've left the kids here for me, and Tanya's got to take the girls to a birthday party. So I'm left here with these guys. Tanya and Giana and Lyla haven't left yet, but they will do in due course. And when they do, I'm going to be left alone with these 2 savages.
You can come. You guys can come say goodbye to me in the car. No, do you want to go? I can't, Grandma. I think I can't, Grandma.
Today we have a run called the the Shore to Shore Run. Show us your number. Yeah. The people also dress up a little bit here. I think New Zealanders like to dress up. Like anything in there.
I'm the panther.
Castor Bay School, good.
I'm the panther.
Good, Panther, yes. Campbell's Bay, sorry.
Do you also want CBS, Gigi?
Ready to go, babes?
Huh? No, she's not from Campbell's Bay.
Living in New Zealand feels like a normal life, just in a different place. You still have to work, you still have to take the kids to school. They still fight, we still fight. We still take the trash out, even though it's a little harder than in South Africa because of all the recycling. But pretty much everything else is the same. The only difference is that Lyla can walk to school. We can go fishing often. We could hit the beach every day. We don't, but we could. Things work here. In fact, everything works here. People are nice, friendly, and they always think you're telling the truth, which is great because we are. And it's fantastic not having to try and convince everybody that you're not dodgy. They give you the benefit of the doubt. A lot happens in New Zealand, but nothing bad. Just watch the news report. If something slightly crazy happens, they'll cover the story for days and only move on once they've interviewed every last living relative of the particular person that did that one very bad thing. One news report that stands out was about a school in Christchurch that had to have the police called in during morning drop-off because there were too many cars on the road and things were getting a little jammed. Really? Talk about news that underwhelms you. A few facts about New Zealand. The people are awesome. The light switch is on the inside of the bathroom. Restaurants serve amazing food. People smile a lot. People run a lot. People drink a lot of coffee. People drink a lot of coffee. There are about 74,000 ways that you can order coffee. They're mad about water sports. The city is beautiful. Public transport works like a bomb. Education is tops. Taxes are a little higher than in South Africa. Hiking is amazing. Landscape is breathtaking. There are a lot of spiders. Nothing in New Zealand can kill you. There are no snakes, no locks, no fear. The speed limit is 50 kilometers per hour. No one drives faster than the speed limit. Houses come with dishwashers. Drivers stop for pedestrians. We see rainbows all the time. Cars are cheap. Houses are crazy expensive. Best decision ever. I've noticed that people smile a lot here. I mean it. They really smile a lot. If you're walking along and you make eye contact with someone, you're probably going to get a smile. So, I suppose I smile more now. That's a good thing, right? It's school holidays and we are here at the beach. It's sunny and there's a nice cool breeze. Oh, it's such a nice feeling. So awesome just being here, and there's kids running around and all sorts of things. But more than that, it's just a beautiful day and it feels so nice here. Hey Lyla. Yeah. Very nice. It's hard to say what we'll do next. Besides the normal day-to-day that we face, I certainly want to hike more this year, maybe ride my bike too. But in amongst the trivialities of life, perhaps what's coming up next might be something to do with music. I might get out the old drum set and guitar, pluck away at making an album with the kids. Or we might take a super long adventure down to the South Island and see what wonders await us. Camping is certainly on the cards and we hope to do a lot more of that. Finding a picturesque creek somewhere and set up tent, go searching for Bigfoot in the woods with the kids. Who knows, we might even find some unspeakable wonderment that the kids can hold in their minds forever. Either way, the point is that after this past exciting move and adventure that we've had, my only real hope is that my kids will look back at their childhood and remember with the fondest of memories the time we had, the time we lost, and crave a world we used to know, and then go out and do it all again, and again, and again.